Alright, step one, take the wheel off. Well, assuming you already have it jacked up off the ground. Take that off. These are 22s, and there's a lot of them. I usually like to use this plate, put them all in there. My toe is really killing me. I need to go see a doctor, but I haven't yet. So, first thing you want to do, let me move the camera. Alright, first thing you want to do is remove this tie rod so you can turn this and so you can get to the brakes easier. So we're going to move the tie rod in. That is going to be a 17, and if I'm not mistaken, it will also have a cotter pin on it. Let's see. Yeah, so there's a cotter pin. Take the cotter pin out. If you get lucky and they didn't bend it like crazy, you can take it out by hand like I just did. 21 mil. Take it completely off. Take the castle nut, flip it upside down like this. I'm sorry, like that. Screw it on, and then hammer it to a pop switch. There you go. There, of course, tap it with a hammer. It's gonna be heavy because it's put the nut back on it. Slowly like that. Set her down. And now, the reason why we did this, so we can turn it like that, and we can get to these bolts with an impact. So let me reposition y'all. Alright, I saw a guy, the only video on YouTube I saw this, take out these caliper bolts. I don't do that. I take off the caliper bracket as one piece. It's a lot faster. So that is going to be 21s. Okay. Now if it doesn't come out like that, it's stuck on the rotor. Take a screwdriver, put it in the middle of the rotor here, and just pry. Like that. And it should come off now. Just make sure you have this ready. Alright. And then my mistake. Let's put that back on just for a second. I need to take this off. So this is going to be a, just bend it up a tiny bit, 8 mil. Take this off. And make sure that don't fall out like that. And make sure you don't lose that bolt. Okay. Now you got a lot more wiggle room there. But what I want to do is pop this completely off, and you'll see why I'm doing this. I'm sorry if the sun, or let me just go back a little bit for y'all so you can see a little better. I don't know if you can even see or not. The sun's kind of crazy. But take off these things. It's a little bit hard to do, but it's well worth it. I also forgot to mention I'm re-greasing the bearings. Since you have to take the wheel bearings off. recommend a flathead screwdriver when you do this. Alright, so now you got that all free from the brake line, which I really hope you can see that. And that's free. Now we can take this off and hang it on the spring. To the side, just like so. Now, service data showed a picture of taking these ball joints out on here, like pressing them on and off. I don't know how they did that. I like to take everything off and do it. So if you're somehow better than me and you can do it, then praise God. All right, get a rag, kind of clean off the edge of this so you can kind of see where it's gonna go. Next step is we got to take off this wheel bearing and this rotor. So, all right, so you want to find the indention here, which for some reason there's always an indention, and then you just pry, unless mine's just like that because of there you go. And it comes right out. I don't know if someone's did these before or not, but at this point I'm taking my gloves off because I don't like wearing gloves when I do this. And I get some needle nose pliers. We got a cotter pin in here somewhere. Probably get a paper towel and just wipe up as much grease as you can so you can see what you're doing. And there's that cotter pin. Looks like someone's been in here before. This doesn't look original, but alright, so now straighten this cotter pin up, pull it through. Alright, and you got this cap. Put it in the cap here. And this shouldn't be finger tight, but usually is. It should be like, yeah, I was able to loosen it with my fingers. I mean, it's okay, it's finger tight, but when you put it back on, it needs to be like 10 foot-pounds. It's not actually finger tight. Service data says something else. So, and now you want to get a pick. And there's a little washer here that you don't want to lose. It might be stuck to the bearing itself. And it looks like this one is stuck to the bearing. And it looks like the whole bearing is going to come out. There we go. So there's the washer. Kind of clean it up. And then here comes the bearing. Before the bearing comes out, make sure you have a paper towel on the ground to put the bearing on so it doesn't get dirty, since we are reusing these bearings. Okay, there's the front bearing. I usually like to wipe it up with a little re-greasing and everything. Just get the outside grease off of them so they're not so greasy when you touch them. That's my preference. You can do whatever you want. I just don't like touching greasy things. Alright. Wipe the hands off. Now this whole rotor is going to come out. You're going to set with a stud side down to the ground because the bearing on the other side is going to be there. So, alright, here we go. And be prepared, this is going to be heavy. Okay. I'm just going to roll this over here. like we had some grease leaking. Speed sensor's really metally. Don't know why that is. I'll put the speed sensor a little bit. Alright. So next is we're taking the speed sensor off. There's two 8mm bolts. Again, be very careful when you do this. These are very small bolts. You don't want to break them. One. And two. And the whole speed sensor comes out. I'm going to just set it aside for now. And I am sorry if this is a bad angle, guys. I'm trying. Alright, next step, since we're going to have this in the grass, because that's where I'm going to be doing my ball joint pressing, I want to make sure all this grease is off of the spindle so it doesn't get a bunch of grass all over it. This needs to be cleaned up anyways, especially if you're repacking your bearings. You want to make sure there's no grease, old grease on it, and put new grease on it. Alright. This looks really good and dry. That's what we want. Alright, next. What is next? I think this is where the 15 comes in. The top bolt that goes through the ball joint on the top 15 mil. And we're going to take this off. Should come out easy as long as we don't have the rust belt. Okay. I gotta show you what that top thing, because that confused me too. I'll show you that in a second. Now we got this guy bent like crazy, so it should come out pretty easily. There we go. Got the pins out. This is where I don't actually have a socket this big. This is like bigger than, I think this is 30 mil, but then I don't have a short or 32. So instead, I used an adjustable wrench. There we go. Alright, we cracked it loose. Now, the very tedious part of, you want to, trust me on this, take the nut all the way off, where it's in your hand, then barely screw it in here. Sorry, I just got a text message, so just a few turns. That's it. Leave it alone. Alright. Get some PD blaster. This is what you're gonna do. First, this top ball joint will come loose by turning it here. This is not a nut. It's like a spacer that gets crammed in there. And so, by turning it, you loosen it. There you go. See how it's loose. And so I'll just turn it a few times. The only reason why I want to take this off is because it makes it so much easier to put things back on. Oh, well, why didn't I do that in the first place? Let's just grab that. There you go. Best thing to do, get underneath it like that. Pry it. So get this off of the top, and that's going to help you tremendously, because now it's loose on the top here, and now you just need to pop this guy loose, which this is where the hammering comes in. In here, it's going to be a very tight fit, and you just want to start hammering away. On it, put more PD blaster on it, and now go crazy. Cover your ears. There it is. And that it's free. Now, in my case, most of the time, this is stuck on, so I'll just undo that and I'll hammer it off once I get the whole unit off. So let me pull you guys out a little bit. It's hard for me to see anything because of the fact that the sun's in my eyes. Alright. Screwed. And there you go. The unit is off. Okay, so now, like I said, you can just hammer this just like so. Now, it's time to go to the pressing. Alright guys, sorry if this is a bad view, but I'm just going to press, get your ball joint press out. I already know what adapters I need, so anyways, let's do this. Snap ring pliers. Take the snap ring off like that, throw that away. Your new ball joint should come with new ones. That flew out. There we go. And that's out. I hope you can see that. That it is a little tough, although my battery is pretty low on this, so maybe that's why. So as you can see, that came out just fine. And as you can also see how bad this ball joint is. I don't know if, oh sorry. Like this ball joint's pretty bad. Okay. I like to rotate when I put them down, I put them down the way it came out so I don't get confused. Alright, and then on this guy, same thing. I think I just used this though, yeah. And so you're gonna have to undo it from this completely and then put her back in like so. That one came out a lot easier. You want to leave this here because you're going to install them the same way. You want to do it this way. So it comes with a ring here. Make sure you use it. I used the ring with this guy to center it. So. There we go. There. And you're done. Ball joint is in. Bottomed out. But I'm going to tell you right now, that was the hardest one. This is Simple as long as you know what you're doing. There you go. Snap rings in. And that is it. This is ready to go. Now we just put it back on. I'm getting tired. It's getting late in the day. I'm not getting paid enough for this. Give a customer a really good discount. I really shouldn't have. Hang on, I forgot something. This, you might have to use your knee. Hold it up, your leg. There you go. And then put it on. Put that on. For some reason this nut doesn't want to go on. I'm getting a cramp in my leg. Oh my lord. Where's my adjustment wrench? Oh, thank God. Alright, got it started. Now, what I like to do is raise it up. Just spin it all the way by hand as much as you can. Now, we're going to go ahead and tighten this lower ball joint up. There you go. Call that tight. Then you get a cotter pin. Run it through. Needle nose. Grab one end of it. Pull that all the way through. And then we're just going to take this guy, and I'm pretty sure now the top, make sure you align this guy with the slot that's on the top. You'll see it. If you ask me why, I don't really know exactly, but I'm gonna hammer it in. Bam. Easy as that. Now, let's put that new bolt in. And again, it's gonna be a 15. Upper and lower ball joint is on. So now we have to deal with the wheel bearing. So I'm going to re-grease all the bearings and get back with y'all and slide it on, and we'll be back. Guys, re-grease the bearings. I just slid it on. I just put the bearing in. Now I'm going to put this guy on also. Please remember to put that speed sensor back on before you put this on. Alright. Goes on like that. There's the washer. Now you want the nut. Nut on. Of course, it's gonna get locked up on you. There you go. Alright. this is what I do without looking up procedure. Most of the time, it's the same thing. So I don't even look it up anymore. Fords and Chevys are almost the same thing, and it's worked for me for years. So this is what I do. Let me show you. So, first of all, I'm not going to put too much pressure, but as I'm tightening to the right, I'm spinning this to the right. I'm going to tighten that pretty good right there. Okay. Now we're going to loosen it. And then we're going to tighten it again, spinning it the other direction. There you go. And you're going to loosen it. And this is your final tightening, which as you're spinning to the right, you're just going to tighten this up. And you only want about 10 foot-pounds. So right there. And you're good. Spin it, make sure it sounds good. And then also make sure there's no play. There's not. So now that's all done. We want to put the cap on the nut here, and then a cotter pin. So make sure you got some cotter pins with you. Put a cotter pin on there, and then of course get the grass off of it. Spin her around just like so. Do the same thing with this side. Okay. And you're done. And now you can put the cap on. I recommend cleaning all the old grease out of the cap. Good. So I want to make sure the spin is good. Make sure we get all of the grease here wiped up. You know, seems to spin very well, and there is no more play. All right, now the next step would be put the brakes on, and then once we get the brakes, we'll route this wire in. Push that out, and push that on, and that went on a lot easier than the other side. And then you want to get this bolt going. Okay, once you're done with that, brakes are back together. And now that's loud. Now we can put the cable back on, just like so. It takes a lot of force. Then you got one bolt right here. This. don't see anything else to do except for the tie rod. Alright. And another cotter pin for that. And we have zero play on the wheel. Alright guys, put the wheel back on and this is done. So if this has helped you in any way, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.